everybody, and welcome to Hollywood Game Changers, where we talk to industry pros about their magical moments and that change their lives and their careers. I am Judy Kane, your host, and for more information on this podcast, visit www.keepitreal.com/HGC, Hollywood Game Changers. So I am just thrilled today because we have a very special episode for you. First of all, it is the first of many to follow, but it's the first virtual podcast that we've done. So that's exciting. But this is our also first podcast where we've had two magical guests. Yes, they are. So our first guest that I'll introduce to you is Tom Burke, who is a backstage expert. He's a branding expert and also a headshot coach. And I know that he'll correct me on how I said that. But he also was a very successful model back in the day. And I know he brings that expertise to his coaching and teaching. And he also teaches at Keep It Real Acting. And the amazing Isabel Echeverry-Unruh, who is a manager amongst many, many other things. She has Contacto, which is handles, and I think you're really well known for your Latinx actors. Certainly a go-to management company for that. And I know that everybody that I've met from there adores you, and you work tirelessly for them. So these are my guests, and we're going to be talking a lot about the business today, focusing primarily on brand, headshots, type, marketability, etc. And you two, I believe that I introduced you.
Yes, you did.
I knew Isabel, and Isabel said, "That's it. I want to go back to acting." And I told you to take Tom's castable actor class. Can you speak about that a little bit? Because I knew it blew you away.
Wow. Yes. It was really just amazing. It really opened my eyes in every way that this was available, the castable actor. That's why I sent all of my clients over to Tom and to you, of course, because it's interesting, because I really feel that I needed to just try it, kind of like go back one more time to see. And there was a reason for that. So I can even get more knowledge and experience. So then I can share it with my clients. And now, yeah. And I really, what I love about being a manager is that I've had the experience of what they're going through, which is being an actress. And I know how it is to just like take headshots over and over again, pay a bunch of money, which, I mean, photographers are great. It's not them. It's that then I felt always alone. I felt that I didn't have that support in the shoot, because a photographer is worried about getting their equipment done, the lighting, having everything ready. And then you have to get ready and know what you're going to be doing. So when I went to castable actor, and then not only that, but then I did the headshot special. You see, It's not just castable actor. It's also seeing how or feeling completely supported by you, like Judy, you were there the day or 2 days before, going and saying, having the roles, already identified through, with Tom, through that fabulous workshop. I mean, it's the whole process. It's feeling that two people, you and Tom, are taking you by the hand all the way through to the photographer, and then even afterwards, even helping you choose the headshot. And that for me was just fabulous. And then now all my clients that go to you, they and I'd rather not tell them anything, because it's very different. It's like when you tell not that the actors are like kids, but you're kind of like, when I tell my kids, do this, and then somebody else, the teacher tells them, do this, they're going to listen to their teacher. not to their mom, you know.
Right.
So for me, it's the same thing. It's like I don't like, I can tell an actor, well, I believe that, but then I'm not the expert. Why don't you go to Tom and Judy? I kind of know, but they're going to put it in a way that you're going to understand how you need to really organically get there. And that's what the process is with Tom. Organically, he will get you to what roles you need to play, and then also go throughout the whole process and get the headshots that are perfect. So
you want to elaborate a little bit on the process and how it changed Isabel? Because I remember what she, I remember what her headshot, I remember what her headshots looked like and what came out of it.
yeah.
Well, I think that's just what happens with everybody. Everyone has a view of what they think they are, and they also have a view of what they think they're supposed to be. And the thing is with this business is that all you have to be is exactly who you are. But it's so hard to see that in ourselves. You know, like you can look at somebody and know instantly who they are, but you can't really do that with yourself. So that's what I really try to help people do, is turn the camera around and see yourselves in the eyes of the industry. See the way that they look at you. See the way that they look at you and know instantly who you are and what they can do with you. And the other, excuse me, the other problem with actors is that they think that they can do everything. But the industry says, no, you can't. You all have a very small parameter of work that you can do. And once you figure that out, then you can target those roles and actually start working. And you target those by learning how to dress, what headshots you need. It's really packaging yourself in a way that the industry wants to buy you, because you are, in essence, out there selling a product, which is you. But you have to sell the product that they want to buy, not the product that you think they want to buy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And you know, it's interesting when you said, because I suffer and definitely suffered from this, is thinking that I could do everything, that I had a wide range. And once I narrowed down really my niche and who I was in the eyes of the industry, I worked way more.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
More. And boom, boom, boom. And they're all in the same lane. Every once in a while I'll go to the what's that called off the freeway, the gravel part. Every once in a while I'll go over there. But most of the time I'm in my lane, period. And
right. There are times when you're going to do something totally out of the box, but if you can really understand that you have just a very narrow pathway, like you were saying, in your career, understand that just like every working actor does. Like Judy, you just said, you know your pathway. You know the roles you are right for. You're not going to put yourself out for something that you're not right for. And the people that do that, that think like, oh, I can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that, and I can, they never move forward. But the people who see this path and go, those are the roles that I am physically and everything right for, they're the people that begin to work and then create these careers. And as I always tell actors, the roles never really change. They just age with you and get bigger as your career gets bigger. But they pretty much stay the same.
that's great. I mean, it is such a, I find that the response after taking your class is either my mind was blown, you know, it was so amazing, life-changing, you know, all these things which
That's what I hear for my
Right.
clients every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
so, you know, that kind of information. And to me, it should be the Castle actor, you know, that class, the really you're wearing that class where we talk about how to dress yourself, you know, how to wear the right outfit, should be the first thing people do. Because then you can go take your headshots and start. You can then start your career, take some classes. You know what to do in the classes now to me, that would be, if I was advising anybody who just moved out, I would say, take this class first, take that, get your headshots and start to market yourself while you're in class studying and learning the craft.
Right. It kills me how many actors spend so much time and so much money and just spin their wheels and just try to do all kinds of different things. And, then like, my headshots aren't working. I'm going to cut my hair off and dye it blonde. I'm going to try that. And they just keep spending. And instead of just figuring it out right away, like you said, Judy, figure out your place in this industry. Know who you are before you walk into a door. Because every actor, it's their job to drive the bus of their career. They need to know exactly who they are. Yes, Isabel is an amazing manager, and everybody loves her because she really does care about her actors. And the fact that she understands that actors need to know these things is why she sends them to us. But there are so many agents and managers out there who don't take the time to learn about their actors, who are the kind of agents or managers that just throw things to the wall and hope something's going to stick. So that's why it's really important for actors to put the work in and figure out for themselves who they are, to take control of their careers, because they're not all going to find managers like Isabel. She's so rare, someone that really does care. And just the fact, like when you were saying, Isabel, that you went back in front of the camera to really figure out, first of all, that you didn't want to be there, and second of all, what your actors are going through. I do the same thing. Every so many years, I get in front of that camera again. I go through the process of going back to an agent, and I too realize I don't want to do this anymore, but it is really good to know, to be in the shoes of the actor, to understand what their life is like out there. Yeah, I've had this really long career in all these different aspects of this business, but the actor, it is so personal because they're just bearing themselves in front of people, just opening and showing all these different aspects. So it is so personal, and it's really hard to not look at the business side of the industry and realize, wait, this is a business, and I need to treat it like a business. It's not all about big paychecks and red carpets and beautiful gowns. There is a business, and everybody has their role, and every actor needs to figure out what their role is. So that's why I think for Isabel and myself, it's really awesome for us to be able to go on both sides, so we feel what the actors are going through.
Absolutely. No, it's great. It's great that you do that. I want to just address one thing that you said, Tom, in respect to Isabel. When an actor knows who they are and they go to an agent or a manager looking for representation, that is attractive. And so attractive. It's like, oh, they know who they are, because when they know who they are, the manager or the agent is it's just easy for them to go, oh, I can put them in this, and this kind of role, and I see them doing this, and this, and but when they come in and they're kind of like, well, how do you see me? How is that when an actor comes in and does that in an interview, Isabel? When an actor is unclear on who they are?
Well, I think for me, the most important thing when I interview an actor that comes to me referred or anything is there real? For me, that's the most important thing, is there work on camera? Then the headshots come. And it's incredible because usually it's not even that much that they have to do. It's very simple, but they just have to do it. They have to tweak everything. Like sometimes the better scenes are in last. It's just their point of view and their perspective. And then we just have to shuffle everything, get new headshots. They come in. The first thing that for me is the most important thing is the actor's access profile, because that's really where everything happens, when you submit that profile. and many times like it just like they have like 20 pictures, you know, in the profile. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and it's because they don't know. It's, you know, they don't know what they don't know, which is what we know. And that's why, you know, this discovery, I find it like, oh, I discovered this treasure, you know, with Tom and, you know, and Judy, that, you know, that then also it has helped me identify that as well. Before it would probably have been like, oh yeah, all these pictures maybe, but now it's like, it's so focused into what you have taught me, and that I can just easily say, okay, let's just work with these two for now, but you need new headshots. Delete this and delete that and delete that. And then also you're going to re-edit your reel and then do a slate. And then, so all of that and then also rename the, I have a lot of the actors that come in, they have great footage, but then they put like comedy scene number 1. It's like, no, what is this? You know, you got, you know, and there's like, they have guest stars or they have it, and they don't put it up there because casting is all about, you know, the credits. But even if it's not a big credit, it has to have a title, you know, the piece of work has to have a title. And so it's a lot of beefing up to say, and it's usually always there, but they just don't know how to do it. They don't know, they're missing out on something that they don't even know is going to be more powerful. Right. So I think that's number 1 is getting that all sorted out, and then seeing what they're missing in terms of headshots and the roles that I leave them. I say, go to Tom and Judy, and then I'm not going to tell you what the roles are. Let the professionals do it, which I already know kind of the roles, but I want it to come from you guys because it's always like what they say, oh my God, it's mind blowing. It's like, it's completely just opened up everything. And a lot of people, a lot of my clients say, I wish I would have taken this 10 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. That's what it is. So, I mean, really, I mean, I just, it's amazing.
They would have saved themselves a lot of money. I know you, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just wanted to jump in on what Isabel was saying, how, you know, when I see a newer actor come in and they have 25 pictures on their Actors Access and they're just presenting as wannabe actors as opposed to presenting as professionals. And what you were saying that you're doing with them is the same thing that we're doing with them as well, is just helping to polish them up and present as professionals, but also know what is so unique and special that they have to offer and how best they can present that to the casting directors or the agents or the directors or the producers, so that they're not looking at this actor going, you're cute, but so what? You know, there are so many cute people out there. But if you know, just like the three of us are saying, learn how to polish up and present as a professional, so that even if you don't have a huge amount of credits, if you walk into a room knowing exactly who you are, knowing exactly what you have to offer, that, as Judy said, is so attractive, not only to the agent, but also to a producer or director to go, you know what? Yeah, maybe they don't have a huge amount of credits, but there is something special about this person. And more importantly, I know what to do with this kid, as opposed to, yeah, he's good looking, but so what, you know? So I think we're all on the same page that we're really just trying to get actors to turn that camera around, see themselves in the eyes of the industry, and present as a professional actor and not a wannabe, because no one wants a wannabe on their set.
Absolutely. And I do find that there's two steps. It's a 2-step process. First, they have to understand from you, with your help and guidance, and kind guidance, I might add, who they are. You know, then digest that. I always tell this story about this guy who took my class. This was a long time ago. And, you know, he was, you know, sort of a nebbishy, shorter man, you know, nothing against that. But he was seeing himself kind of, he was doing the read kind of like a spokesperson, a handsome, tall, you know, and I mean, it was good, but I said, you know, I think you're the you're the offbeat guy. You're the guy who's, who's quirky. You're the, the man behind the man. You're the one who doesn't quite get it all. And he was quite taken aback. I think I crushed him. And he went home, and the next week he came back. He was dressed completely different. He had a whole different read. Tom, you might have even been in this class with him. And I said, wow, what happened? And he said, I took what you said, and you're right. And he booked 12 jobs that year, all in that sort of offbeat. One of them, he played like a leprechaun or something. You know what I mean? That's who he is. And of course, his career has skyrocketed. But I don't remember the point. What was I going to say? Oh, once you do that, once you know who you are, then you need to know how to present hair,
Right.
makeup, clothes. You need to know how to present that image instantly, because it is a very instantaneous first impression business. Isabel, you had something to say?
Yes, that it's you to have the magic to get through to the actors, you see, because they have it so set in them. I remember the class that I took with Tom. There was this guy that came in, and he had a headshot that was like the leather black jacket, and he was like, But then when he walked in the room, it was like this great smile, and he was just so charming. And you told him, you said, you know what, this is not who you are. Right. And you said it so nicely, and that he got it, like he just got it, that he's not going to be able to play that bad guy in a leather jacket, and there is that kind of stereotype that really comes along with the whole, like you said, like the red carpet, Hollywood, flashy, all that. And that's not what acting is. Acting is really being yourself. And if you, and I also, what I feel needs to, for the actors, I mean, look, there is a difference between theater acting and film and TV. And that's something else that I really try to explain to the actors who come here or they've already done the 2-year, mandatory, which is something that every actor should do, right? The 2-year scene study and all that. But then there are, I say you need to take a camera class, like something, TV, like it's a different medium. Right. TV and film is not the same as theater. Theater is like, you're like, out there with your voice, and you need to laugh, but theater and TV and film, it's conversational. Like right now, I'm even talking too much, right? Too loud. But it's like very conversational, and keeping it, and your emotions are right here. Right. It's a lot that newcomers to this, let's say Hollywood, and me being here in 1999, coming as an actress, I moved here as an actress, so I got to live all that and learn through trial and error. So what I want to do, and what I've been doing as a manager, is to just make it easy for people to, and it's very easy, because I say, I make it easy. I say, look, you want me to represent you? Just do what I say, okay? And they're like, okay. I'm like, really? It's just going to save you so much money, and not money, but also time. And it's really like everything that I tell them, you could really do it. Set yourself up, your profile in less than a month, that you're ready to go. You know what I mean? That you can come to a level that you are the professional actor. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Tom. Right. So it's just a matter of being willing to be a student,
Well, people listen to you. I think, people listen to their managers and their agents.
Yes.
Eventually they do listen to us, but people do listen to what you suggest, which I think is really critical. And then there are those that don't, which kind of boggles my mind. It's like, this is the person working for you. This is your agent, the person who's guiding your career. Why aren't you listening to their suggestions? But I just keep losing my train of thought. I have so many thoughts going through my head. It was something great. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
All right. So the stuff that we're talking about now, I think is even more imperative what's happening now in the industry,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because everything is being done like this. Auditions, meetings,
Yes.
which is why I think it's even so much more important that an actor understands what they're bringing to the table and how to present it, so that, you know, if you're going to be in a Zoom meeting like this and there's 10 people or an audition, that director, that producer, whoever can go to your little square and see instantly what you are, what you're offering, who you are, as opposed to, well, that's a really nice blue top, but I don't know what that person is, you know? So I think it's really important that actors right now put a lot more of this work into it, because you're not going to get that time in an office. You're not going to get that time in front of people anymore.
Or the vibe that you have when you walk in the room, it all is very, this is, you know, really, really compressed.
Right.
It's very visual now, especially with the self-tape. You know, I find people do a great job. I have a self-tape class, great job with the acting, but their clothing is so misrepresented. Or their setup, you know, the setup has to be good too, but the clothing is so misrepresenting the role that it's like, I can't buy them in this part. And I know that now, and you can talk about this too, Isabel, so much stuff is literally the director's looking at it. It's all virtual. They're probably on their phone, but they're thinking, okay, this person is going to go directly from, almost as if, you know, from their house to the set in that same outfit. It has to be right,
Yeah.
right? They're skipping the makeup person and the costumer. You know, that's too close. It's not safe. So they're letting the actor wardrobe themselves and do their own makeup. So it's why it's very important that the actor knows how to present.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I really suggest that, because that's what all I could do is suggest for them to take online virtual classes, self-taping, or to have a private. You know, that's so important. This is business. This is a business. You know, it's you have to be, like you said, even now with the self-tapes, they have to be, I mean, high level, because you have, you know, they're getting 2,000 submissions, and everyone's going after the same roles, because the roles right now are, you know, they went down to, you know, from, I mean, now it's like 90% less of what's out there, you know, because of the pandemic. So whatever you're going to turn in has to be the best quality, you know?
Right. You have to present as that professional.
Professional.
You know, if you're at home with your little, it's not lit, you're wearing something so inappropriate, they're not even going to give you the time of day. They're just going to pass right by you.
Yeah, because they see the effort. There's no effort there.
Right.
It's with everything. Look, I see it even with, you know, when a director is bidding something, they go with the one that's going to bring the best treatment, the best everything. That's like, why would they go with someone that is kind of like doing it half-assed? No, you got to be all in. So
I'm just looking at questions here.
Okay.
Once you know what you know, once you know your general type, how can you pinpoint specifically what you bring to that type of role?
Okay, well, I think that, you know, boils down to what is your brand. And your brand, for me, is what is so unique and special about you? What are they going to remember about you? Not your big acting abilities, but what's that thing that they remember about you? What is that thing that, say, your friends know about you, you know? Or I like to say about a brand is not always a positive thing. Sometimes it's a negative thing. Or those things that our siblings when we were kids disliked about us, because no matter how old we get, we're always the same as we were as children.
yeah.
You figure out the roles that you're right for, and instead of trying to be what you think they want from you, bring you to the situation. How would you instead of fitting into a role, how do you fit that role onto you? So like for Judy, if the role was for that neighbor, right?
Snarky,
And,
yeah.
and the neighbor was a very ditzy, sweet woman. You're not ditzy. You're not that overly sweet, saccharine kind of woman, right? But if you try to do that,
I'm not going to book it.
you're not going to book it because that's not you. So you need to bring who you are.
So I would make her a little bit more snarky.
But in a nice way.
Maybe undercutting, but with a smile.
Right. Because that is who you are. That's what actors need to learn. Once you learn the roles that you're right for, how do you bring, how do you get noticed out there? By bringing you to this role. Don't try to do something that's not you. Is that answering the question? Maybe not. I have no idea.
Oh, I think it does.
Okay.
I think it does. And you have to, it's trial and error in class. Once you figure out who you are, then you have to continually put it on. You have to put that outfit on, so to speak, and work through it and find that secret thing that you do better than anybody else.
Right.
That you can be known for. And then when you're known for it, when the office knows you and they know you can do that thing, they think of you every time a role like that comes around. You're like the image that they have, which is what you want.
Right. So like for you, again, Judy, I'm going to use you. One of the roles that you're right for, let's say, is the neighbor, right? And so casting directors already know, like, okay, we need this neighbor. She's this type, this age range. Okay, well, we need the snarky one, so bring in Judy. We need that like bitchy one, so bring in Sue. We need the kind of ditzier one, so bring in Phoebe. You are known for that thing. That's why they are bringing you in. Or if they're reading through a script and they're like, oh, this woman is so snarky. Oh my God, Judy Kane, That's how you get known. Not because Judy Kane is going in there and one day being like this goth goddess woman and then the next day going in being like the ultra sexy woman and now I'm going to go in and try to do something else. No, you are bringing what's so unique to you to all of your different roles, whether it's the wife, the mother-in-law, the neighbor, the judge, the CEO of the company. She's always going to have a little snarkiness to her because, let's face it, you always got a little bit of snarkiness to you, right?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily true. And I don't think it's so true in my life, although I can be. But it's not my go-to in life, although Tom will probably disagree. Disagree with me. But it's definitely an instant read from my face, and I can produce it. I can also, it was my mother. That's what it is my mother.
And also what I believe, sometimes I submit my actors and I've had like that, I get a call and they're like, well, I don't think that this is for me. So I say, well, look, if I submitted you and pitched you, and if the casting director is calling you in, that means they see something for this role.
Right.
So it's not like, look, we're just going to give this to you and you need to, just bring in what they're asking, what the character description is. They see it in you. They see it in your reel. They see it in your headshots. And they say, wow, we want to see what this person can bring into this character. So, and then usually, then usually that's what happens. They go in and they feel good about it. They're like, thank you for, for telling me to go in, because, it's like not seeing the possibilities.
Right. Yeah.
So
here's a question. My agent sends me out for roles I'm not right for. What should I do?
Well, are they?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they're sending you out. If they're calling you in, just like Isabel said, they're seeing something in you for this role. So You need to go in and, like I said earlier, fit the role onto you, make it work for you. And the thing is, anytime you get an opportunity to get in front of a casting director, oh my God, take it and make the most of it. Don't go in there and be like, oh, I'm not right for this, but whatever. Or, oh, all right, fine, I'll try to be whatever you want me to be. No, show them what's so unique and special about you, whether you think you're right for it or not.
They will remember you, or oftentimes what happens, because that's happened to me too sometimes, and I'll do it and I'll go in and they'll say, hey, can you read this? Can you go read this?
Right.
And which is probably the better role for me, and will happen like that as well. But doing good work and really always makes an impression.
One more thing though about that. If the agents are constantly sending you for the wrong things, you do need to go in and have a conversation with them. And, like a few years ago when I went back in front of the camera and I showed up for a commercial audition, and because I have gray hair, all the guys there were like these big, dumpy guys, and it was a bowling alley shot. Well, I don't bowl. I'm not the guy who's going to be bowling. So I had to go into the agent and was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? Because as I also said earlier, the actor has to drive their own bus and be a little bit in control. So if you feel you are going for the wrong things, if you're not booking or getting callbacks, then that's when I think there's an issue, right?
Absolutely. And go ahead, Isabel, you talk.
Can I ask you, so Tom, when you were called into that, was that, because this also opens up a conversation that one of my, kind of like for my own policy, let's say, I don't submit my actors to anything that doesn't have a name. For anything, yes, co-stars, but if it's under 5 or just like the woman or the man bowling, I don't do that. Like it's not something that I want my actors to go out to. So my question to you was that the example that you gave, was it a character, or was it just someone that was just bowling?
It was for a commercial. So
commercial. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
So they're just looking for a physical type, and just because I had the hair color that they were looking for, but I didn't have at the time. Now that I have my COVID-19 on, but at the time I didn't have the big gut like they were looking for.
That's so funny. I mean, sometimes the descriptions are really,
Oftentimes if an actor comes in and says, oftentimes what I hear is my agent's not getting me out. And then I say, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? How are you taking control of your career? And have you presented the right image to your agent or manager that is the right image to get you out? Are you targeting the right roles with your materials, with your package? But if Isabel's amazing. She gets everybody out. But, not always is an agent or manager able to get appointments for you. But you need to do some work, too. You need to start developing relationships with casting people. You need to figure out who they are, target the shows that you're right for, and find a way to have them see your work. It can't all happen from the agent and manager. There's things that you can do to market yourself as well, so that the casting director is at least familiar with who you are. So when Isabel does say, hey, how about Judy Kane? They're like, oh, yeah, I'll call her in. But that is, you get 10%, I get 90%. I should be doing more of the work. In my opinion, I should be developing relationships with casting people. And I have through the years, and then maintain those relationships with some kind of, constant communication. Sometimes I send postcards, sometimes I do a drop-by. Certainly if I book something, I always bring a gift. Not pricey, just a gift. Just a thank you.
Postcards, Judy. What else do you do just for the actors?
Well, sometimes I'll do a drop-by, especially if I feel like it's a show that I'm right for. I'll do a drop-by, and it's usually a funny kind of drop-by. Like it's National Candy Corn Day, and I'll bring some little bags of candy corn for everybody in the office with my little headshot attached, or something silly like that. National Puppy Day, I'll bring my dog, just into the office and but just to give them a little something. Or if I have something that I've done that I want them to know that maybe is congruent with the show they're casting, I'll let them know. Or if I worked with the director.
Your email blasts, or tell us about that.
Well, I have done a lot of postcards. I do a lot of postcards. I probably have done maybe 150 different postcards over the years, maybe more.
Yes.
And I know they work. It's just a way to just pass my face over their desk, my face and my name, and all they think is, oh, she's working. Whether I say, just took a class, it doesn't matter. It's just, oh, she's working, which is attractive, right? It's an attractive message to send. What else did you say? What else do I do?
Yeah. Your emails with your headshots.
Social media. I'll do a lot of social media. I'll post things, some little clips of footage, or sometimes it's silly, cute stuff too with my son, But
Judy, all the stuff that you do,
yes.
Whether they are the postcards or the social media stuff, it's all branded you.
Yes.
It's all within your types and your roles. You're not doing it in a generic way,
no.
Right? Everybody that looks at one of your postcards knows exactly, what type of role you're right for. They know what even in the things that you do with your son, they know what you're bringing to the table. It's so within your marketability and branded you. I think that's a problem that, yes, there are all those lazy actors that don't do any of this stuff, but then there are the actors that do so much stuff, but it's very generic, and it's just kind of watered down so that if you're going to do something, if you're going to send something out, it really needs to be specific to you. So anytime that you put your acting hat on, that you're in front of somebody, whether it be with a postcard or YouTube, anything, it has to be so branded you, right? Because that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. No, because that's the message you want to hit home. Now, if there was a point in my career where I was so huge, and it would have to happen pretty soon. and I thought, now I want to start playing homeless women. Let's just say, I really want to start playing homeless women. I would have to work to change. And it was the case for me. I got a huge, known for comedy. Can only do comedy. Judy Kane, comedy. She can only do comedy. I could not get arrested for a procedural or a drama. They would not see me. And I had to show them. I had to show them, and I had to show them, and I had to show them, and I had to show them. And finally, then it switched to only drama, and I couldn't get any comedy. So, but I really worked at it because I knew that was something that I wanted to do. But I had to get known first as the comedy girl.
But
Yeah.
even in the stuff that you were showing them to get the procedural stuff.
Oh, I still
Well, but it was within the roles that you're right for. You weren't doing it in like a spaghetti strap little t-shirt, and you weren't trying to be the sex queen. You were doing it, in your marketability.
Yes.
That's the important thing, that you don't.
I did play a cougar once, Tom.
Which, hello, we all know who you are.
So you played yourself? No.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Boom.
Get back to some questions here. What should I do to ensure my headshot photographer captures my brand?
Okay. Well, it's your job. I think one of the problems that actors have is that they go in their closet and they take up all the clothes that they have and they show up at the photographers and they say, okay, now it's your job. You have to put so much work into that headshot. It's not just showing up. It's what is your brand? How do you bring that out in each one? And you don't want to do that same face, different shirt, on Actors Access, where they have, like, here I'm in a blue shirt, and like exact same expression. Now I'm wearing a green shirt. Here I am in a yellow shirt.
Just with the head tilt over this.
Yeah, right? But it looks exactly the same. You want to bring a different aspect of your brand or your personality out to the forefront. But it's your job as the actor to do that. Just like in an acting scene, you make certain choices. You do have to have a conversation with your photographer and tell them, okay, here is my housewife and I want to show her that she's snarky. I mean, get them on the same page with you.
Right.
But your
tendency to put you in a leather jacket or
right.
something. I've had photographers dress me in their stock clothing that they have around. And I've worn leather jackets before, and that is not me. I'm talking black leather jacket with a chain link fence in the back.
Yeah, right.
That's not me.
That's why the actor has to put all the work into it. They have to put the work in by getting the right clothing, knowing what aspect of their brand or personality they want to bring to the forefront in each one. How are they going to do it? It's a lot of work in each one of your headshots.
Yeah.
And of course, I can help anybody do that in each one of them because it's very individual to every person. There's not this is how you do it.
Well, I think that was the day that I really saw Isabel's mind blown was when she brought the outfits. It was like a week before we had the photo class, the photography class, the all-in-one headshot class. And she brought the outfits and it was like, oh my God, this is perfect. In fact, I think you let one of your clients borrow those outfits for
the blue sweater set. I can still see it. Yeah.
And that olive green jacket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
With cardigan sweater that's like long.
Yes.
That was amazing. So yeah, that was great.
Okay, someone wants to know how I can submit to Contacto.
Well, Judy, you can share my email.
Okay, great. I will. When we put the video out, the podcast out, we'll have Isabel's contact info. What are you looking for in a client, Isabel? I'm bilingual. I am the same brand in the American market as I am in the Spanish-speaking market, ?
What am I looking for? I'm looking for, someone that is professional, that knows that it takes work to do this, and that will be open to being guided. Because I think that one of the things that I do as a manager that not a lot of people do is the development. Like
yes.
What Tom said, like a lot of people, agents and managers, they don't take the time to, and it's just about the willingness. It's not like you have to do so much. That's why I say, if you want to do this, it's like finding the formula, the system that's going to work for the client. So of course I would, what I'm looking for is of course that you have something that at least that you're in classes. I mean, I've even taken people that I just see that they really want to do this, and because it's about the willingness, and they don't know how to do it. So there's so many people all over the world that want to be an actor and that really want to be an actor, that's their dream and that's their big dream, and that's beautiful. How do they do it? How do they start? And guess what? That's exactly who I was when I was in my early 20s. I'm like, I want to, I would just watch all these great movies. And I was like, but how do you do it? Like, what do I need to do? And it's like asking around. And when I met the first actress ever that I met, she was in Miami. I was living in Miami. She was filming shooting a movie. And I was like, oh my God, a real actress. Can I get your number? And I got her number, and then the next day I'm like, so what do I need to do? How do I get on film? And then she told me, she gave me some, it's the same thing that I do now for other people, which is, okay, you need to do this and you need to do that. And so what I'm looking for is a big dream that you have, and that you're excited about it, and that you will make it happen. And I'm just going to guide you, So for that person who asked, I'm open to seeing your material and to help you out, give you some good, guidance. So that's it.
So I like this question too. And this maybe is to Tom, am I the same brand in the American market as I am in the Spanish speaking market?
Yes. You're the same brand at the grocery store as you are at, the gas station.
Commercial.
You just have to be you. Yeah.
Awesome. Does the brand change over time?
Judy, were you snarky as a young girl? Yes, of course you were. No, it doesn't change. Like I said, just with the roles, it matures with you, and it, sometimes a different aspect will come to the forefront, but you're still always the same person. And that's what your brand is. It's just what's so unique and special about you. That doesn't ever change.
Good. Due to the pandemic, what is the future? And I want to talk about that. What is the future of the acting industry? Casting, social media. Anybody? What can you see right now, Isabel, that's changing? And I'll speak to this a little too.
Well, what I've seen in the past years is that casting directors and producers are open. They're seeing new talent even more. They want to see new faces, and then what I'm saying after the pandemic, which is we're right in the middle. I think I'm so eager to go back. I think it's just going to be a wealth of projects. So be ready for that. Everyone's getting ready in every way for that big opening, that big boom. You know what I mean? And I think every actor has to be just completely just on top of their game. If this is a great time, I think this is a great time for all of us to in every way. So yeah, I think that, there's not a lot to do physically going out there to meetings and all that. So while you're home as an actor, I encourage to take as many classes as you can virtually to and all that the industry is offering, which I always share with my clients. Everything that I get, panels, screenings, virtual screenings, all of that is going to help you grow and be exposed to the industry. And that's really important, that you're not just in your little box trying to book a job, that you're out there seeing, maybe writing, maybe shooting a scene with trying things out, because that's how you're going to expand your horizons,
Have you seen any in the last, I would say, what's happening? The last 2 or 3 weeks, have you seen any, it's all self-tape, right?
All self-tape. Actually, self-tape, but this Friday is the first audition in person that I have for some of my clients. They're going to go in and audition in person, and I made sure that, of course, they have to follow. It's a SAG project, so they have all the protocols and all the regulations in place for the COVID-19. So
is it
pretty exciting, Is it
a feature or is it a commercial or?
Yeah, it's a feature.
Wow.
Looking for Latinx, So they called in a few of my clients, so that's good. I'm excited about that. It's like, oh my God, an audition. All the clients are like, oh, I want to get out there. Everybody's just waiting to get out there. So, and that's another thing. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it, because, are they going to wear masks while they act, while they audition, social distancing? That's pretty
From what I From my limited understanding,
Uh,
that the Casting Directors Society has said, am I frozen?
No.
The Casting Directors Society
Yeah.
has said that it's going to be, there's no more time frames. It's you come at this time to the lobby. You come at this time. Cameron, what's happening? Do we know? There's one time that you come, you go in, you leave. You can't use the bathroom. You know, there's no kids can come. You can't bring your family members. It's just you go in, you do your thing, then the next actor comes in. So they're probably going to see less people per role, but it's scheduled. They're not going to see 5 people all at 1 o'clock. It's one person at 1 o'clock, one person at 1:10, and you come at your time. That's what I've heard, in order to not have a lobby full of people.
okay.
What are the changes? Well, we don't know what the changes are, but we only know so far what I've just said. How do you know if an outfit fits your type? How many outfits should you have ready once you know your type?
Judy? Well, first of all, if you know your type, then you know how many roles that you're right for. And it's a finite amount. And so each one of these roles, there is a uniform that they use, whether it be commercial, film, or television. It's your job to now start watching film and TV and looking for your type and what are they dressed in? How are they wearing their hair? So really you have like 5 or 6 outfits ready to go because you really only have 5 or 6 roles that you're right for out there. And if you need help, Judy and I teach a class.
Yes, we do. Really, you're wearing that, which is really a perfect title for it. This is from Akila. She said, I took Tom's branding class and learned my sweet, loving mom teacher brand, but that's roles she's right for. But co-star bookings were law enforcement security. Is it okay to have 2 brands?
Well, it's not really 2 brands. It's just one. I mean, your law enforcement person probably is very sweet and caring about the people that she's enforcing the law on. As with your mom, you're loving and sweet, but you're also like, hey, this is my house and my rules. So it's really just bringing the 2 of those together and bringing that same thing to each one of the roles.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you can't, you only play a mom. No, you can play lots of different things, but bringing that brand to the audition, to the role.
Right.
Okay. Okay, great. Let's see. Anything else, Isabel, that you know or you have seen as far as a change in casting? Or are they seeing more people? Are they requesting more self-tapes? Have you had anybody have callbacks? Are they Zoom callbacks? Do you have any experience with that so far?
Well, everything's self-tape right now except this one on Friday, like I said. And I had actually yesterday, since, you know, I have Latinx clients, a request to, you know, there was a huge casting notice that came out last week for a very big producer. And so they wanted, they're interested in one of my clients and they wanted them to transcribe what they self-taped in Spanish to English. So that was pretty interesting. And so we did that, but no, I think right now, that's why talking about how important it is to submit those self-tapes that they want to see exactly how it's going to look on the real show, basically, in a way. I mean, of course, not the whatever background, but the quality has to be so good that they're booking off the self-tape, because there are no callbacks. So I have 2 bookings off of self-tape, you know, 1 pin and one pin from 2 days ago. And it's because the actress submitted a really great self-tape. You know, she took the time and and really did her work, you know. And I do have, you know, I see some stuff like, what, it's like a minute. It's like, you know, can you spend more time on it, you know, because right now is when we have to step it up with the self-tapes, because they're going to book like that.
Do you say that to clients? Do you watch them and say, hey, could you?
Yes, yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's really good. Do you see a trend or a turn in more diversity?
Oh, yes, it is. This is the time for diversity. I mean, it's just beautiful to see the transformation from, I mean, so many years that it's been, you know, it's also the movement of the, just, I guess, everyone stepping up and owning who they are, you know. So yeah, it has. I mean, now almost every project has. Am I breaking up? I'm sorry. Am I breaking up?
Yeah,
Ugh.
you are.
So sorry about that, but yeah, it's a lot right now. Diversity.
That's great. That's really great to hear. Do you handle only Latinx clients, or do you have other clients as well?
No, I have other clients. I'm open. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And kids, kids
Kids
all.
as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Awesome. Any other questions? Any other questions from anybody? I know somebody just came in. I'm looking to see if I missed any questions. How can I target television shows that fit my brand?
Well, I think it's all about the casting. But go ahead, Tom. That's for you.
Oh, I don't think you want to target a particular show. Get out there and get your brand out there, so that it's not about a particular show. Like, yeah, everyone wants to work on whatever show, but I think it's more important that you establish you out there, so that you're the product that they want, not just you're going to do a guest shot on some show.
Well, I do that. I look at the new shows every season, and I decide what shows I need to be on. I decide what shows I could be on. You know, and there's shows like, I'm not going to be on Game of Thrones. That's not my thing. You know, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that show. Probably not going to do a Star Trek. Never know. But I look at the shows that I know that I would fit into, because I would be a judge, or I would be maybe the CEO, or I know where I could fit in, or, you know, and then I try to develop the relationships, or let my agent or manager know this is a show I might be right for. You know, maybe meet that casting person again, or let them know that I'm around, or just target them. So I would, that's how I would do it, and just make sure they know that I'm around and available and doing work, and et cetera, and that my agent's going to have to do the rest. I think we've answered all the questions, and we've lost Isabel.
Okay.
But this has been fantastic. Isabel, are you coming back? No? Did she drop out?
I think she was trying to find a spot that wasn't
Right, the internet. That was one thing I'm telling people, everybody to get is, oh, there you are.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm telling everybody to get one of those internet boosters. I think they're $20 or something. They're really very, no, they are. They're very reasonable. You just plug them in, and it gives the signal a little boost, so that for all these Zoom meetings and stuff like that, your internet's strong.
Yeah.
You know, they are doing callbacks on Zoom, especially commercially.
Yeah, actually, yes.
So So, any other questions or anything else you would like to say? Otherwise, I just think this was wonderful. So edifying for people, and you're two of my favorite people.
Oh, you too, Judy. Thank you. And Tom, thank you.
It was so great seeing both of you. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. And please follow us on Hollywood Game Changers. You can watch the show or any of the many, many other shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere where you watch your podcasts. Look forward to seeing you next time, and stay safe.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.